Yes, welcome back. I'm John Olds, YouTuber and PC gamer. Let's continue. There's news in the Danish television in like 22 minutes. I like to watch that. I was just to fall asleep and I was thinking about to buy an old gamer PC like only like $70, but I did not do that because it did not have any OS, did not have any operating system. And let's wait, I'm not buying more old stuff because I need to have a little bit money left this month. That's only the 10th May. There's still 2 weeks to my YouTube money. Yes. I not understand much of this one. That's very high level technical English. I think that's something very high university level. Some researcher have write this, so that's not easy to understand. But I like to read it. But now we'll just continue, and I will stop before the video splits. Then I will watch the Danish news. Then I will continue this, charge the camcorder and continue. Let's just continue.
Intel exponentially. Greater practical CPU performance. Since around 2005-2007, Dennard scaling has ended, so even though Moore's law continued for several years after that, it has not yielded dividends in improved performance. 156. The primary reason cited for the breakdown is that at small sizes, current leakage poses greater challenges, and also causes the chip to heat up, which creates a threat of thermal runaway and therefore, further increases energy costs. 156. 20. The breakdown of Dennard scaling prompted a greater focus on multi-core processors, but the gains offered by switching to more cores are lower than the gains that would be achieved had Dennard scaling continued. 157. 158. In another departure from Dennard scaling, Intel microprocessors adopted a non-planar Trigate FinFET at 22 nm in 2012 that is faster and consumes less power than a conventional planar transistor. 159. The rate of performance improvement for single-core microprocessors has slowed significantly. 160. Single-core performance was improving by 52% per year in 1986, 2003 and 23% per year in 2003-2011, but slowed to just 7% per year in 2011-2018. 160. Quality adjusted price of IT equipment. The price of information technology, IT, computers and peripheral equipment, adjusted for quality and inflation, declined 16% per year on average over the 5 decades from 1959 to 2009. 161. 162. The pace accelerated, however, to 23% per year in 1995-1999, triggered by faster IT innovation. 135, and later, slowed to 2% per year in 2010-2013. 161. 163. While quality-adjusted microprocessor price improvement continues. 164. The rate of improvement likewise varies, and is not linear on a log scale. Microprocessor price improvement accelerated during the late 1990s, reaching 60% per year, halving every 9 months, versus the typical 30% improvement rate, halving every 2 years, during the years earlier and later. 165. 166. Laptop microprocessors in particular improved 25-35% per year in 2004-2010, and slowed to 15-25% per year in 2010-2013. 167. The number of transistors per chip cannot explain quality-adjusted microprocessor prices fully. 165, 168, 169. Moore's 1995 paper does not limit Moore's law to strict linearity or to transistor count. The definition of Moore's law has come to refer to almost anything related to the semiconductor industry that on a semilog plot approximates a straight line. I hesitate to review its origins and by doing so restrict its definition. 134. Hard disk drive areal density. A similar prediction, sometimes called Kreider's law, was made in 2005 for hard disk drive areal density. 170. The prediction was later viewed as over-optimistic. Several decades of rapid progress in areal density slowed around 2010, from 3,100% per year to 10-15% per year because of noise related to smaller grain size of the disk media, thermal stability, and readability using available magnetic fields. 171, 172. Fiber optic capacity. The number of bits per second that can be sent down an optical fiber increases exponentially, faster than Moore's law. Kegg's law, in honor of Donald Kegg. 173. Network capacity according to Jerry /Gerald Butters. 174, 175. The former head of Lucent's optical networking group at Bell Labs. There is another version, called Butters' law of photonics. 176. A formulation that deliberately parallels Moore's law. Butters' law says that the amount of data coming out of an optical fiber is doubling every 9 months. 177. Thus, the cost of transmitting a bit over an optical network decreases by half every 9 months. The availability of wavelength division multiplexing, sometimes called WDM, increased the capacity that could be placed on a single fiber by as much as a factor of 100. Optical networking and dense wavelength division multiplexing, DWDM, is rapidly bringing down the cost of networking, and further progress seems assured. As a result, the wholesale price of data traffic collapsed in the dot-com bubble. Nielsen's law says that the bandwidth available to users increases by 50% annually. 178. Pixels per dollar. Similarly, Barry Hendy of Kodak Australia has plotted pixels per dollar as a basic measure of value for a digital camera, demonstrating the historical linearity, on a log scale, of this market and the opportunity to predict the future trend of digital camera price, LCD and LED screens, under solution. 179, 180, 181, 182. The Great Moore's Law Compensator, TGMLC, also known as Werther's Law, generally is referred to as software bloat and is the principle that successive generations of computer software increase in size and complexity, thereby offsetting the performance gains predicted by Moore's Law. In a 2008 article in InfoWorld, Randall C. Kennedy, 183, formerly of Intel, introduces this term using successive versions of Microsoft Office between the year 2000 and 2007 as his premise. Despite the gains in computational performance during this time period according to Moore's Law, Office 2007 performed the same task at half speed on a prototypical year 2007 computer as compared to Office 2000 on a year 2000 computer. Library expansion was calculated in 1945 by Fremont Rider to double in capacity every 16 years, if sufficient space were made available. 184, he advocated replacing bulky, decaying printed works with miniaturized microform analog photographs, which could be duplicated on demand for library patrons or other institutions. He did not foresee the digital technology that would follow decades later to replace analog microform with digital imaging, storage, and transmission media. Automated, potentially lossless digital technologies allowed vast increases in the rapidity of information growth in an era that now sometimes is called the information age. Carlson curve is a term coined by the Economist, 185, to describe the biotechnological equivalent of Moore's law, and is named after author Rob Carlson. 186. Carlson accurately predicted that the doubling time of DNA sequencing technologies, measured by cost and performance, would be at least as fast as Moore's law. 187. Carlson curves illustrate the rapid, in some cases hyper-exponential, decreases in cost and increases in performance, of a variety of technologies, including DNA sequencing, DNA synthesis and a range of physical and computational tools used in protein expression and in determining protein structures. Eroom's law is a pharmaceutical drug development observation which was deliberately written as Moore's law spelled backwards in order to contrast it with the exponential advancements of other forms of technology, such as transistors, over time. It states that the cost of developing a new drug roughly doubles every 9 years. Experience curve effects says that each doubling of the cumulative production of virtually any product or service is accompanied by an approximate constant percentage reduction in the unit cost. The acknowledged first documented qualitative description of this dates from 1885. 188, 189. A power curve was used to describe this phenomenon in a 1936 discussion of the cost of airplanes. 190. Edholm's law. Phil Edholm observed that the bandwidth of telecommunication networks, including the Internet, is doubling every 18 months. 191. The bandwidths of online communication networks has risen from bits per second to terabits per second. The rapid rise in online bandwidth is largely due to the same MOSFET scaling that enables Moore's law, as telecommunications networks are built from MOSFET. 192. Haitz's law predicts that the brightness of LEDs increases as their manufacturing cost goes down. Swanson's law is the observation that the price of solar photovoltaic modules tends to drop 20% for every doubling of cumulative shipped volume. At present rates, costs go down 75% about every 10 years. See also. Accelerating change. Perceived increase in the rate of technological change throughout history. Beyond CMOS. Possible future digital logic technologies. Carlson curve describes the rate of DNA sequencing or cost per sequenced base as a function of time. Ephemeralization. Technological advancement theory. Planck's law. Computer science observation. Cumay's law. Trend indicating the number of computations per unit energy dissipated orbits every 1.57 years. Limits of computation. Overview of the limits of computation. Microprocessor chronology. Timeline of microprocessor development. Swanson's law. Photovoltaic pricing observation. List of eponymous laws, adages and sayings named after a person. List of laws. Technology. Notes. A. The trend begins with the invention of the integrated circuit in 1958. See the graph on the bottom of page 3 of Moore's original presentation of the idea. 1. B. In April 2005, Intel offered US $10,000 to purchase a copy of the original electronics issue in which Moore's article appeared. 12. An engineer living in the United Kingdom was the first to find a copy and offer it to Intel. 13. C. Active power equals CV2F. References. 1 more. Gordon E. The 19th of April, 1965.
Yes, not record
Cramming
this.
all components on two.
Good, so that's 15 minutes. So now I can get a break and watch the news and Danish television. So They have a lot of reference, but let's just scroll it through so we're getting that, because they have some information down at the bottom. Yes, that's the 10 May today. Yes, I'm scrolling. Yes, external link. No, it was edit the 4th May. But if you download this again in like a few years, that's all kind of new stuff. So that was Moore's law. Yes, that was a law about the transistors in the CPU will grow like 100% every 2 years. And why? But I did not understand much of this. Yes, but now I did record it. And we have the news in the Danish New now. I will close it. Yes, the next is about Robert Noyce. He's one of the founder of the Intel. But I will upload this. There will be 4-part videos. So now I'll get a small break. Then we could do like this. But I cannot do that with one hand because my paper do like this. But I did it. So listed Robert Noyce, Arthur Rock, then AMD, Advanced Micro Device. So now I get a little break and I'm charging the camcorder.